What's going on, everybody? It's Jason here from the Coast to Coast Canna Chat. I'm sitting with Robert and Holly from the Canna Pop Up team. They're going to be spending some time with us today talking about how they're really helping cannabis startups in this emerging industry. So, Robert, Holly, welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us, Jason. Glad we could be here.
Yeah. Always great. You guys are my favorite cannabis parental tag team, whatever you guys consider yourself.
Parental. Parental.
Yeah, well, we're proud to wear a lot of hats in the cannabis space, and it's interesting how what we do and what we represent in this space has evolved so much, even in just the past year, and it continues to do so. So it's an exciting space to be in right now, for sure.
Yeah, I always love coming to your events, meeting new people, really getting a chance to network with a lot of the companies that are out there. You know, it's a very friendly environment and welcoming. So I brought my mom that one time to the event. She was really blown away by the industry and what's transpiring and how people are coming out of the woodwork to just really get in the game here. So, you know, she was telling me she meant to come back, and she's been a little hung up north, but she's definitely going to be back to some of the events in the future. And she's also going to be on the podcast as a panelist in the next season. So we'll get to that later.
Cool. Well, we loved having you and your mom. We actually, a lot of the attendees come with parents because it really is about feeling comfortable in this space, and it is community. Mm-hmm. And really our goal is to really connect the people and the brands, and they get an opportunity to sample, to shop, to most importantly learn about cannabis and CBD as medicine for health and wellness. Mm-hmm. And it really is, it's 21 and older, but I'll say primarily the average has been anywhere from, well, there's been lots of baby boomers, but we really have a lot of people that are 30 to 80 plus. That are walking through the door, that are looking at this as an alternative, plant-based, natural healing therapy, and education is vital. This is the common denominator, I think, for anybody that is getting into this industry, is that there's so much misunderstanding, there's confusion, there's controversy, there's fear, there's stigma, like you said. So we need to have a conversation about the C word. And not to be afraid of the C word that we call cannabis.
I like that. Reinvent the C word. Nice.
Yeah, that's what we're doing. So, and really we are opening people's minds to considering this plant-based wellness for themselves and their loved ones and their families and their friends and their neighbors and their coworkers. And understanding the parameters as legalization is happening across this country, right? There's 33 states plus DC that are already have medical legalization, and I think 11 with
11 have adult recreational use. Yeah,
recreational. So I think that there are a lot of parts to learn about this plant medically. Medically, socially, legally, and economically. How communities can benefit in a variety of ways. And the brands that we're working with a lot of them are young entrepreneurs, right? Mm-hmm. So we're not such young entrepreneurs, right? We have been entrepreneurs 30 years, sharing content. And we love working with everybody who's coming into this space to be able to position their brands as something to watch and incorporate into their lives.
Well, I love your content. I try and tune in every day. I'll be tuning in, as long as you guys do the 420 live events. I've always kind of joked you're like my favorite online sitcom on Facebook. I think you guys should have your own sitcom. We'll talk about that later. And if anyone's watching this, definitely want to get these guys on TV. Okay. But yeah, I mean, it's really just welcoming content. It's engaging. It's educational. So for any of our listeners out there, check out Canna Pop Up and it's Canna Talks, I guess you guys are calling it now. We can
Pop
talk about that.
Pop Talks.
Pop
Yeah.
Talks.
Yeah.
I'll let you guys elaborate on that. Go ahead.
Yeah, everything that we're doing is really an evolution of what we're learning. When we stepped into the cannabis space, we didn't know exactly what our spot would be.
Mm-hmm.
We knew that it was important for us to be a part of the movement. We just didn't know exactly where we would fit. And it really kind of, it identified itself really, because we came to the space with a set of skills that we have developed over these last 30 years in being in our own business, in various businesses. And, we have the distinct advantage of experience that, we've always wanted to share. We've always been sharers.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very natural for us as we learn within this space to be able to help others with it. And that's really what we want to do, both the consumer who
Mm-hmm.
comes to our events and hence the Pop Talks, right? So, anyone can go out and buy CBD product today. Okay. You can buy it here in Livingston
Mm-hmm.
at the car wash checkout. Okay. But you shouldn't be buying your medicine at the car wash. Your air freshener, yes. Medicine, no. Okay. So, that's the fact of the matter, is that the products are available. Anyone can go buy it anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
But should you? And if you're going to, then what do you need to know in order to make the right purchase?
Mm-hmm.
So it was quickly evident to us that we needed to create an environment for these young brands to come to market, really,
Mm-hmm.
and introduce them to the consumer, because people may not know, but in the CBD space, in the cannabis space, because we're here just talking about this, right? We can't market the way other businesses can market, right? We're shut out of online marketing,
Mm-hmm.
for the most part, with the big players. So that becomes a factor. So we've created these environments in which we educate and bring the consumers to the brands all at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, it's great. And I was talking about this on one of my first podcasts. One of the things that really blew me away about the industry and when I first started networking and going to events was just the culture in a community and the ability for a 20-year-old CEO of his own company, startup company, to really network with the CEO of a multi-billion-dollar organization like Bruce Linton, or was. But ultimately, the playing field is level, right? And it's not going to be like that forever. So to have people like yourself out there making these connections for people, it's invaluable. Not everyone has the network. Not everyone has the ability to get out there and doesn't even want to put themselves out there to really create the network. Not everyone's an extrovert, right? It's tough building a network. So having the resources available, having people like you making those connections for people and doing it in a friendly, warm, welcoming environment really opens up doors for people. So that was one of my key takeaways. I just found it really amazing that you have these various levels of entrepreneurs facing off, and that playing field won't be level for long. Once big cannabis really takes a hold in the U.S. and globally, for that matter.
Yeah, and I think it just really, we always just as human beings try to patronize small local businesses, and I think that's really
and support
local
them,
business,
and to invite them to be part of what we're doing, and especially with the West Coast, having been a little bit more mature,
in this space.
Space, and we're looking at what they do, whether it be what we like and or what we may not like in this space. But we look at it as a lifestyle. So this is, to us, this is about incorporating this as a lifestyle ingredient into our lives, to mind, body, and spirit, for people to feel better, and we
want to make it normal. We want to make it, not unusual. We did a presentation last night at a library here in New Jersey, and the room was packed.
Nice.
And it was mainly, and it was funny because when we got there, the organizer apologized in advance that there may not be a big turnout because there was a Board of Education meeting last night as well, and a lot of the people wanted to go to that. And Holly and I just smiled at one another because we know that our demographic doesn't have school-age children. They're generally older. The kids are older and out of the house. So a Board of Education meeting would have no effect on attendance for us. And we were exactly right. Every seat in the room was filled.
Or the 30-year-olds who have their startups who don't have kids yet.
Well, exactly. But really, you know, the people, you know,
I'm stuck in the middle.
Well,
I can't go out
it's
every
true,
day.
but you know, you still have the benefit of youth.
I've got a wonderful wife at home who lets me do what I need to during the week.
But you know, you guys, listen, I give you a lot of credit, right? Because you have done a lot in a relatively short period of time as an entrepreneur. But when you're young, right, you don't realize, you know, every young person feels they're invincible. Well, let me tell you something. The clock's ticking for you guys just the way it's ticking for us, okay? And before you know it, you know, you start to accumulate all of that medicine on the nightstand, right? Suddenly the doctor's not smiling so much when you come to visit them, right? So, you know, life changes. So I think people who start to incorporate, right, the power of this into their lifestyle at an earlier age will suffer a lot less as they get older. And I think, you know, we're all on a mission, no matter how old we are, what demographic we cover. If we are passionate about this plant as a healing plant, then everybody can benefit from it. We just so happen to attract, you know, a bit of an older crowd. And, you know, we may not look like the typical cannabis consumer.
We are the new faces
like
of cannabis.
We're the new faces.
We're the new faces. And all that means is because cannabis has been given a bad rap. And it may not, when it was called marijuana and pot and weed, that's when it was given, you know, the negative, correct. Whereas now we want people to know that it's okay, that this is okay, that it is safe. We want to create a safe environment, a responsible space. And the best part is meeting people like you and the other people that are doing good in this space. So we've been able to identify a number of industry professionals, medical professionals, business professionals, advocates, patients that are sharing their story, the power of story, and are also helping others do better in this space. So, you know, like we always have a giving back component. You know, we believe in a portion of whatever we do, we want to donate to a cause that is going to help people that can inevitably be helped by cannabis as well. But in essence, that the said organizations are also going to be there to help, especially when it comes to health and wellness for others. So, because we do know that this plant can help so many conditions and just live a better life, quality of life, to elevate that.
100%. And not to make light of that, but I'm really, really pulling for the fact that cannabis is going to help solve male pattern baldness at some point. It's the only thing I don't see on the list. So whatever doctors are watching this get to work, I fully expect results in the next 10 years.
Makes it less important.
Yeah, very important. And you can work on getting rid of the nose hair and the ear hair at the same time. That would be also equally.
Just don't get too close to the camera.
I just figure we're talking, you know, the baby boomer generation out here. I can relate. I'm approaching.
Absolutely. You're going to have hair growing out of places you never thought you'd have hair.
Well, listen, it is adaptogenic. It is an adaptogenic supplement.
That's right.
So, you know, Jason,
it will help you at any age.
There is hope. But honestly, to me,
open-minded.
The people, this is really about people. About peoplehood, it's about humanity. It is about democracy. So what we are doing is we're really proud to be, we are event producers. We are, we produce educational programming online and in person. We encourage you to visit Canna Pop Up and check out upcoming events. We encourage you to check out the recordings that we've done of in-person events, and also we've produced online content, but we are meeting people every day that are making a difference in this space. And we need to continue this conversation. And that's what we're going to continue to do in a professional way that makes sense, and trying to get less and less gray in this space, because the questions are, there's so many questions. And every time someone poses that question, I think, Robert, let's produce a show on that, because that's what it's all about. But it is, like you said,
and
also,
luckily we have the experts that we've developed relationships with that we can turn to for those answers, and we're really grateful to be able to rely on them and to have them step up whenever we've asked, and to be able to produce this content, because we believe, as you do, Jason, and that's why we gravitate to you, of walking the walk, right? What they say about BS, right? Talk is cheap. Anyone can talk it, right? But when you live it and you walk it, right? That's what it's about. And when one of the reasons for us wanting to produce online content, and I'm sure that the impetus was the same for you, right? Is that a lot of the people who are treated and can find benefit from this plant are unable to get out to our events for whatever reason, whether it be geography, whether it be social anxiety, whether it be watching the kids,
or whether it be pain,
right? Or pain. So we want to be able to, and we admire you for producing these podcasts, because there are so many people that can't be reached in person.
Great point.
And this is the only way that we can get the message and information to them. So we're proud to be in the online space with you, as well as the in-person
well,
space.
because we really do. It has to be a trusted source. So the thing is, there's going to be a lot of people out there that are, going to share information in one way or another. But the thing is to continue to do that with purpose is ultimately what it's all about.
Now, elaborate a little more on Pop Talks. Is that the intent of Pop Talks, is really to bring, the message to the homes of the people that can't really get out? And I imagine you have a whole series lined up, and you'll be doing more of those type of talks?
Yeah, well, we
have to go back and watch the one with Oleg.
Yeah.
So to-do list over here.
So the Pop Talks brand really is our educational component of Canna Pop Up. And we have had our Pop Talks as part of our in-person experiences, and because my background and my passion is in content production and memory preservation, we record all of our Pop Talks that we do in person. So we make those recordings available not only to the people who came, but more importantly for the people who couldn't come. And we want to make that information available. So we video record all of our Pop Talks, and they are available online and in various parts of our website. So I invite anyone to explore that. And then we produce specific online programming under the Pop Talks brand, specifically for the online environment. And we're proud to produce both, and all of it has been very well received and very much appreciated by those who can't physically get out to our in-person events.
It's great. It's absolutely needed, and that's great.
Yeah.
So what else do you guys have going on? I mean, you have the events, you've got Pop Talks. What else are you doing out there? And you guys have a million things going on. I always see you running around with your hair on fire.
Yeah.
So always kind of curious what else you guys got going on the back end.
One of the things that, a lot of people don't see publicly as part of what we do and we're probably most proud of this, is the relationships that we spark. You are very much behind the incubator concept, right? And I think, we like to think of ourselves as almost a step before the incubator, right? Or where the seed happens, right? Where that one key introduction can make all the difference in the world. And for whatever reason, and I think it's because of the vibe that we give off, people are very comfortable coming to us and saying, hey, Holly, Robert, you know, can you introduce me to someone who does this or has that or knows how to do this? And again, and I give most of the credit to Holly, if you've ever been in Holly's presence in a room full of people, Holly will leave knowing everybody and everything about them, because nobody works room like Holly. Yeah. So she is continuously, you know, we always use a term that will, you know, be unknown to many in just a few short years, but Holly has an amazing Rolodex of contacts.
I still use that term.
Yeah. So that when someone comes to us and says, hey, you know, I need to do this, chances are we have someone who knows how to do that. So we are very proud of the relationships that we help to start here in the space, and many of which that we don't even know about.
And inspired, and inspired some people to even start businesses in this space, or to improve the content they already have, whether it be on their website or through their video channels. And the other thing we do, which I mean, I may be able to work a room because I do love people and I love meeting people and learning more about people and what they do and what makes them, you know, get up every day to do what they do. But I have to throw my hat off to Robert for all of his tech savvy. We really are each other's yin and yang, but as we're married 27 years, we work together, we sleep together. So from the boardroom to the bedroom, we are together pretty much all the time, and we haven't killed each other yet. But what I'm throwing it off to is the fact that his tech savvy, when it comes to online, is extraordinary. And he is, and in the social media space, you know, you wouldn't know his age the way he plays in that sandbox, because at Canna Pop Up, we encourage you to follow us on Instagram, and what we post on these channels, Instagram and Facebook, and
it's
on our website.
Mostly me and my bikini, because we all know that bikini shots get the most likes on Instagram.
This is true. I was going to adopt that same type of strategy, but my wife talked me out of it.
Yeah, well, Robert's been asking me, and I'm just kind of not doing it. But even though I do like
I'm unfriending you, Robert.
What? What do you say?
I said I'm unfriending you. I'm not going to follow you anymore.
You don't want to see that. You can't unsee me in a bikini.
And like what Jason referenced earlier, and we're coming up, you know, up to that time. But 420 every day, we do Kiss, and almost every day we go live. And if it's not 420 Eastern, it's 420 somewhere in the world that we will come on live. And, you know, that is where we have our personal branding. But the thing
and that's
is,
generally on Facebook.
And that is generally on Facebook. Yep. Although we do go live on Instagram, you know, from time to time. But whenever we do, no matter what we do, we want it to be meaningful. We want it to have value. We want you to come away learning something. And I have to tell you, I know a lot of people are watching and listening, whether it be to your podcast or coming, you know, to events in this space. But it really is about showing up. And it really is about, there are a lot of people that come behind the scenes that message us regularly. And we welcome anybody to do that anytime. You know, share away, come to us and say, I want to learn more, or how can I do this or that? And we would be happy to.
That's great.
Yeah. So yeah, we have our events, you know, pretty much almost every month or every other month. You know, if you follow us on social or go to our website, canna-pop-up.com, you can get on our email list so that you can get notified.
Yeah. And we are going to, so sign up for our email list. And we also on our homepage, and then we also are going to be rolling out our Pop Talks, regular online programming.
Yeah. So just, you know, just watch for, just watch for Canna Pop Up. We let everyone know everything, you know, we don't keep anything a secret for too long, you know, and we share away. So just, you know, follow us on social, get on our email list, and you'll be in the loop of everything that's going on in our space.
And we do help businesses. We do help businesses leverage what they're already doing, because Robert's expertise is video, So we know how powerful that is.
But it's only for businesses that are looking to do this in a very personal way.
And creative way.
In a very creative way, in a very one-on-one kind of way.
Unique.
So, you know, it's really, our approach is not for everybody. It's really for businesses looking to make a more personal connection to their audience. So that's kind of who we tend to attract.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the branding of any company is make or break, right? And I myself thought I was putting out great content, but I don't really think I am after I've kind of went back to the drawing board, and there's other things I can do differently. I have some questions for you offline about IGTV. I don't know if you played around with that too much. But yeah, it's really good what you guys are doing. I love it. I've met a ton of people through your network. I'm going to continue working with you guys. I look forward to a long-term collaboration with you guys and various projects that may pop up, pun intended, from time to time. So, yeah.
Well, you're one of our favorite people in the space. You know, we met you, very early on, and we made a connection almost immediately. You just, I think when you come at this a very open and honest way, who you are comes to the surface right away, and there's no wasting time. We know the people who we want to be around, and we're proud to know you, and fortunate to get to know you even better, and you become not only a colleague but a friend, and
it's that authenticity, really, right? I mean, you recognize that about someone, and it just kind of cuts through all the bullcrap, right? So you're not surprised by who someone is later on down the road after you've been working with them for some time. Build that friendship first, and then elaborate on that and build your business relationships.
It probably shows in any business, to be honest. But in this one specifically, there is, you can tell the greed from the heart. And it's one or the other, actually, in this business. It's not even, it's undeniable that people definitely show their true selves.
But you identify those people right away. I mean, it really becomes clear, especially in this, it's a very special community, and those things tend to identify themselves very quickly, both the good and the bad. So it's great. We love being part of the cannabis community.
And we're learning. We are lifelong learners. We learn every single day, and by doing is how we get better, do better, be better. So together, when we lock arms, anything is possible.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Well, I love being a part of your community. I look forward to being part of it in a long-term fashion. But once again, I know it's almost 4:20 rolling up here. Can I get a 4:20 kiss on my show since it's not quite 4:20?
Yeah, we always want to. We're happy to do it.
There we go. Cool. Well, guys, thank you so much for coming on the show. I know you do have an event coming up real quick. You want to throw a quick plug in for that?
October 10th is our next event in Livingston. And then we have a November date that we'll be announcing shortly. And then followed by an event in December that will be a day-long shopping event that'll happen right before the holidays. So,
that's great.
And then, of course, during that time, we'll have lots of new online content that we'll be releasing as well.
Great. Well, I'll be sure to tell our listeners and our followers how to follow you. I'll list all your things right here after I edit this. But just so I know, you're on Twitter, Instagram.
Instagram, all social is Canna Pop Up, and our website is canna-popup.com. We're on YouTube as well. So it's all under the Canna Pop Up brand.
And you are welcome to also send friend requests to us at Robert Allen
on Facebook,
and Holli Williams Ehrlich, Holli with an I, Holli Williams Ehrlich on Facebook, and would love for you to start being part of those communities as well.
Yeah. And you don't even have to friend us on Facebook. You just follow us. All of our live videos are all public, so anyone can watch them.
Right.
Great. Well, guys, thanks again so much for being on the show. Excuse me. I always love having you guys chat with you guys for whatever time I can steal your ears, whether it's at an event or on an online format. But I'm looking forward to the 10th. I'll certainly see you there, and we're going to talk a lot between now and then. So
you're going to be in the education zone.
Right, we're having Jason.
Absolutely. I'm in the education zone. I got to be there.
Yeah.
I'm going to be there to educate. But I'm looking forward to it, guys. And once again, thank you for being on the show. This is Jason, sitting with Holly and Robert from Canna Pop Up. We'll catch you next time, all right? We're out.